I don't know about you guys, but I always struggle with overeating and emotional eating around the holidays, especially if you have a big sweet tooth and have a lot of carb and sugar cravings. It can be so hard to resist all of the Christmas goodies that tend to hang around your house this time of year. Over the years, I've been able to hone in my habits and reduce these very natural tendencies that we have when we have more holiday food around. In this video, I'll cover how to set mini goals before the big meal to improve your self-control, the 3 magic words to eat less sweets, how to structure your meal to fuel your body, some hydration tips, mindset shifts to avoid the guilt associated with eating dessert, and some stress relief techniques to reduce emotional eating. If you're looking for evidence-backed tips and strategies to lose weight, get healthy, and prevent disease, be sure that you subscribe to this channel because I release new videos every single week to help you do just that. I'm Dr. Morgan Nolte, founder of Weight Loss for Health, my signature online program, including a course and community that teaches you everything you need to know to lose weight by lowering your insulin resistance so that you can keep it off. We have a very heavy emphasis on healthy habits because you will never lose weight and keep it off if you can't change your habits and control your behavior. Let's dive into these tips that I have for you today. The first is to train for game day. I view big holiday feasts the same way an athlete may anticipate a big sporting event. They can't expect to slack off in practice or just not practice at all and perform well on game day. The only way to have self-control during the holidays is to practice self-control before the actual meal itself. One of the most practical things you can do is a mini fast from sweets the week before the holiday. Sometimes eating sweets, even a few chocolate chips or a piece of candy, becomes automatic and inconsequential. In the big scheme of things, it probably is. But the point of this exercise is to practice mindful eating and self-control. Then when the actual meal comes, and I want seconds or I want more dessert, I've built my self-control muscles over the last week so that it takes a lot less willpower to say no thank you than it otherwise would. I also try to reduce snacking the week before the holiday. If I do want to snack on the holiday, I try to pick off the vegetable or cheese tray to eat foods that won't spike my blood sugar and insulin. Another great technique to prepare for game day is to practice the 6-1 intermittent fasting schedule that I covered in this video, so definitely check that out next if you haven't watched it yet. My next tip for you is to remember the 3 magic words. This is a really simple technique. Just because someone offers you food doesn't mean you need to take it. You are not being rude by being healthy. Simply say, no thank you, and move on. If you feel bad about turning someone down, offer your assistance in another way. Maybe you could clean, cook, entertain kids, fill water glasses, etc. One of my favorite sayings is, see the need, and the holidays are the perfect time to practice that. It keeps you busy and productive without needing to be around the food all the time. Remember, if it's out of sight, it will more likely be out of mind. So if by chance you do take some sweets into your home, put them out of sight or simply throw them away and don't tell anyone. If you're committed to eating less sweets this holiday, type yes in the comments below and tell me your plan for how you're going to get it done. Next, I want you to think about how you're filling your plate or how you're structuring your meals. I want you to fuel your body, so anchor your plate in protein first because it's the most satiating out of all 3 macronutrients. Also, load up on the non-starchy vegetables or salad. Crowd your plate with the foods that are higher in protein, healthy fat, and fiber, and take smaller portions of the more unhealthy options. Ensure that you're getting some sort of protein with your meal to keep you full and less likely to go back for seconds. If there is no color on your plate, in other words, if it's full of bread and potatoes, you may want to consider going back for some vegetables. Remember that starch and sugar don't trigger the hormones that tell you to stop eating. But eating foods with fat, fiber, and protein will, so you'll be less likely to overeat. The next tip may seem obvious, but most people aren't doing it. It's to drink enough water. If you fill your body with water, there will be less room for food. Plain and simple. Try to drink at least 1 full glass of water shortly before your meal. All too often, I look around at water glasses still nearly full after the meal, while the wine glasses are closer to empty. Make a mini goal to drink at least 1 glass of water during your meal. This will make you be more mindful and slow you down. Another tip I've used to slow down is to literally put my fork down several times during the meal to focus more on conversation. I'd recommend drinking another glass of water before dessert. Avoid diet drinks, as these often cause cravings for sweet foods, and I don't think anyone needs any more temptation around the holidays. Alcohol is a source of empty calories, and many sweet drinks are loaded with sugar. If you drink, do so in moderation. Stick with primarily water, tea, or coffee, and watch the delicious holiday-themed creamers. Unfortunately, those are loaded with added sugar and will make your sugar cravings worse. Next, I want to introduce you to something I call an exception meal. I teach my clients and members good nutritional habits, a solid baseline so that they can veer off 10% of the time for an exception meal here or there. Sometimes it's an exception day without ruining their diet. They've worked on their nutrition and formed solid habits most of the time so they can enjoy the dessert without feeling guilty because they have likely eaten healthy up to that meal and will return to their nutritional baseline after that meal. If you don't regularly have these exception meals when you're losing weight, you aren't giving yourself the opportunity to practice self-control on a regular basis and will be more likely to fall off the bandwagon. Accept that food, especially unhealthy food, is part of most family traditions. There are so many delicious, healthy alternatives to traditional comfort food and dessert online. You can try some of those, but if you're not the one in charge of making the meal, stop worrying about what the scale will say tomorrow. Be present, be moderate with your choices, and enjoy the time with your loved ones. Lastly, I want to cover some stress relief techniques to reduce emotional eating. One of my favorites is to set aside time first thing in the morning for reading, prayer, meditation, or journaling. It helps reduce whatever tension I have and start my day off right. As best you can, get a good night of sleep the day before the holiday. I recommend trying to get at least 7 hours of sleep. When you are sleep deprived, your hunger hormones go up and your satiety hormones go down, making you more likely to crave high carb foods and overeat. I recommend doing a little exercise the day of the big meal. Even a short walk or stretch can be helpful to reduce your stress and calm your mind to prepare for the rush of food, fun, and family. If the weather is nice, try to go for a walk or do an activity after the big meal to use up some of that energy. If you're watching this thinking, oh my gosh, Morgan, I've gained so much weight this year and I'm just throwing in the towel and starting in 2021. Know that there is nothing magic about January 1st. That mindset is not serving you. Stop procrastinating and start prioritizing your health. If you want to join my online program, Weight Loss for Health, so you can learn exactly what you need to do to lose the 2020 weight and start 2021 off on a better note, go to weightlossforhealth.com/join. I do hope to see you on the inside of my program. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're enjoying this content, definitely subscribe and turn the bell on to get notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again next week where I'm sharing how to make one of my favorite healthy holiday drinks, hot chocolate, without all the added sugar. I'll see you in the next video.